Well, the football's been pretty good, and the half-time entertainment isn't bad either. The double winners from North London are 1-0 to the good in Austria against 1860 Munich. Thierry Henry, that's not him, got the goal. And, Pat, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I imagine Arsene Wenger will be very pleased with that because it's just the sort of workout he needs. Yeah,
I mean, they're not a great side. First of all, I'd rather watch her than watch you. I think, actually, they've been a strong side. They've been a bit pedestrian at the back. They're probably a little bit old up the front, you know, and they're not creating that many sort of sharp chances. But hard work, you know, put them through the paces, and that's exactly what they need. They've looked quite sharp, the Arsenal team.
OK, thanks for all your texts, by the way. Keep them coming throughout the programme. The first one we've picked out for you, Pat. Is Ashley Cole the best Arsenal, let alone England, can do at left-back? He looks more like old King Cole. That's from Glenn Malone. He's the comedian from Hornchurch.
Glenn, not a huge Arsenal fan, obviously, but what we see here, he gets the ball and he's always desperate to go forward, and he plays the ball forward, and he's continued his run. And you think, well, OK, we might get forward, but he finds himself now so far out of position and no one's covering over. And that's the chance that Suker gets. He's very unlucky there, but you have to say well done, David Seaman, what he's been asked to do today. He's done very well indeed. But and we always complain about the fact that the Brazilians, they're going to ask Roberto Carlos to keep on going forward all the time. Once again, that ball was played behind him. But I think he should have been running onto that ball, but his control was excellent and got him out of it. He does get into this bit of a habit of going slightly too far forward at the right times. However, when he does get it right, it is quite fantastic. If you watch in the middle there, Dennis Bergkamp pointing, you'll see it in the second replay, he's through. And it's a simple ball, it's across the field, and Dennis Bergkamp, right hand comes out. You've got to pass that across, and it's a definite goal. But he's great going forward. There's a little bit to be added to his game, and if he doesn't add that, what you have to do is get one of the midfielders to cover for him.
The pattern in the early part of the game was quite obvious, wasn't it? They were defending quite high, and Arsenal must love that. You don't play that way against Arsenal.
I mean, we've seen it a few times last year in Channel 5 when we had the European games. Some teams playing that high. We're just not used to it in English football because it is the easiest trick to break down. I mean, that time we only get through, but they just started realising that anyone who makes a break from midfield is going to get a fantastic opportunity. And it just started happening time and again. And it wasn't even particularly difficult, although this was a great run and a wonderful through pass. That's just tiredness and nothing more than that. When the sharpness of the season's on, he'll go through and score that. There's no doubt at all about that. So it was very clear where their problems are, and I think Arsenal, at absolute full strength, 2 weeks' time, they'll score a few from that.
Now, you were really keen to see how Keown and Campbell got along together tonight. What do you reckon so far?
I actually think they've not done too badly. They've thrown themselves in front of the ball a few times. I think I was quite impressed with Campbell on one occasion against Suker. He didn't throw himself in, he didn't dive in, used a bit of intelligence. Remember that Tony Adams in his early career? You know, he used to get called Donkey. He matured really well. It may well be that Campbell's going that way too.
OK, our next text tonight comes from Sarah Jane Taylor from Nottingham. With Bergkamp and Henry, the title is ours. Can we do it if we lose one of them? What do you think, Pat?
Well, I think every single Premier League club will say the same. Every manager will say the same. You've got to rotate them, but these two are fantastic when they get together. And Henry kept on getting plenty of space. I mean, lovely dummy here. I mean, ticket to get back in, etc. But, you know, when they two see each other, not quite Luis Figo and Zidane, but they do understand each other and they do work together very well. And they are top quality players when they're playing on song. We just wanted to see this again. That was an absolutely beautiful touch. You don't get much better than that. But again, great vision. He doesn't even know where. He doesn't even look behind there, but he knows where the players are. And Bergkamp's a joy to watch when he's that sort of form. And the goal here, I mean, it's quite unmissable in the end. And I would agree with Peter that the final pass there was offside. But the problem is they're playing too far up the park again. And you know, when the ball is actually played into the net here, you know, there's not an 1860 player within 20 yards of them. And you know, it was pretty amateurish defending. But I think if they keep them on a wee bit longer, that strike force, I mean, they'll work together again. And it's just as you say, if you can keep them fit for the whole season.
OK, Arsenal quite comfortable tonight. Liverpool not so comfortable last night, were they? But we get another chance to see them tomorrow in the Madrid Centenary. Well, it is a friendly. Timings don't really count, so let's rejoin Gary and Peter.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Arsenal have made several substitutions at half-time. We're 20 seconds into the second period, and you haven't missed very much indeed. The interesting news, I suppose, for Arsenal is we start in goal, where Fabian Carini has taken over from David Seaman. He's a Uruguayan who's on loan from Juventus. You'll see him very shortly. And also the central defender from France, Pascal Signa, who looks a little bit like Frank Leboeuf, and the ball's just sailing over his head now, is on also. Kanu and Luzhny also on for Arsenal at half-time. They've taken Laren off. Viltord has gone off to allow Kanu to come on. Seaman off to allow Carini on. So 4 changes in total, and I was told by the Arsenal coaching staff they wouldn't make any changes at half-time.
Never trust a football staff. But it looks like they've changed the shape a touch there. It looks like they're playing again with the back 4, but it looks like they've gone to 3 midfield players with Bergkamp behind Kanu and Henry.
Vieira. Edu.
I think that will suit Edu, because I think he likes to play more inside, and I think it'll also match up with their midfield players, because 1860 are playing the diamond shape.
Henry. Oh, he's almost taken the ball round Jensch there. He's so quick in those positions.
Well, that's where you've got to be so careful when you leave space behind, because they've got such clever runners. But the goalie done well there.
Just grappling onto the ball at the last. It's confirmation of those changes again. I like it. Carini, Kanu and Luzhny all on for Arsenal at the break. This is Gilberto Silva, the Brazilian, picking out Luzhny, playing it right back now. Cleared by Ehlers. Hessler. Doesn't look like 1860 Munich had made any further changes. Journey's cross. Carini will let it run.
I think Vieira's really getting forward when he gets the opportunity, and I think that's where Silva's good for him, because I think he knows that he'll sit in the midfield and balance the team up defensively, and that allows Vieira to get on a bit.
It's interesting to see this partnership between Sol Campbell and Pascal Signa, one which has been tipped as a future first-choice partnership in defence for Arsenal in the coming months.
Well, he's a nice left footer, isn't he? And so you can see the balance there. Sol will be playing more right-hand side.
Edge forward towards Kanu, who I thought was unable to play tonight. He did pick up an injury during the week, but he's obviously shrugged it off. And the Nigerian very much in the Arsenal squad. He's got the ball here, Kanu. He has such a marvellous touch. Vieira.
Well, you talk about Dennis Bergkamp, about you know, you've got to always watch him because he's got such lovely skills, and of course Kanu's the same. So
Edu. Sigan pointing the way backwards should Edu decide to go in that direction. There's Vieira, it's Bergkamp. Gilberto Silva. Luzhny. He has figured in 1 or 2 pre-season games so far for Arsenal. Kanu. Henry, who does look sharp. Henry has it back here. Kanu waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Gilberto Silva. Sigan. Vieira, the captain. Just to remind you, Arsenal leading by 1-0. Scored in controversial circumstances by Thierry Henry, who appeared to be offside when he converted Bergkamp's cross. This is Bergkamp now. Sigan. Luzhny. Sigan.
Well, it's really patient play. As I say, they're waiting for the space to develop or to come up. By then, they're just going to try and keep the ball to work the opposition. But they're working hard, 1860, to get it off them.
I think the Germans slightly unfortunate to be a goal behind.
Yes, no, I think they had a good end of the first half. And they had a little bit better spell than Arsenal. And I think Arsenal, to be fair, has had a little bit of luck on the goal, because I think it was a poor decision from the assistant referee.
Henry, Kanu waiting around about the penalty spot. Bergkamp now arriving inside the box. Arsenal caught offside. Bergkamp had just strayed too far forward. This is Simon Jensch, came to the club a couple of years ago. Devil Shuka towards Martin Max, but Sigan was there first. Kanu galloping forward here, takes on Rodrigo Costa. Gilberto Silva, Bergkamp, back to the Brazilian again. Falls wide here to Kanu, but mopped up by Marcus Perk.
I know it's hard work, but for me, if Arsenal can just keep making them spin runs into the corner flags, there's a lot of spaces available there.
You may recall 1860 Munich went out of the Intertoto Cup last season to Newcastle United. They had their belly full of English opposition. A year prior to that, Leeds United knocked them out of the Champions League at the qualifying hurdles. They're looking to improve on 9th position that they achieved in the Bundesliga last season.
That was a certain test from Edu there to Carini, the goalkeeper, whacking a pass back to him on his debut.
Edu popping up on the right-hand side this time. A bit too ambitious with his ball to Thierry Henry, who had adopted the outside left role. This is Thomas Hessler for 1860 Munich. Devil Shuka trying to fend off the attentions of Ashley Cole. This is 1860's 4th competitive pre-season game. They've beaten Slavia Sofia and Partizan Belgrade. And were rather disappointed to draw 0-0 with Karlsruhe during the week. Arsenal, by comparison, began their Austrian tour by thrashing SV Neuburg 7-2. This is Czerny for 1860. Under pressure from Edu. I thought he was fouled there, and indeed the whistle from the Austrian official wasn't too far behind play.
Again, it's good work over from Arsenal. That's what a lot of the pre-season games are about, pushing yourself a little bit more to get yourself fitter. Now working very hard defensively.
Kurtz. Voronidov stood on the ball, and Arsenal maybe can counter-attack here.
Kanu was a little bit disappointed there. He made a good run there, not to get the ball forward from Henry.
Henry forward towards Bergkamp. Rodrigo Costa as a defender, checking him back. Kanu. Ashley Cole. Henry. Rolled into the path of Edu. And Vieira and Campbell. Only Siga and Carini back inside the Arsenal half at the moment. Every Arsenal player prompting and pushing forward now, looking for that chink of light in the 1860 defence. And this is Edu, and it's a low cross into the arms of Jensch.
Well, again, a lot of passes, a lot of keeping the ball. A great bit of quality at the end. It's only the final thing that let them down on that move there. It's a great bit of skill.
Ashley Cole missing out on the tackle on Devil Shuka, the former Arsenal man, who takes the throw quickly to pick out Hessler. Vieira. Lovely 1-2 with Bergkamp. And the Austrian Czerny managed to help it back to Jensch. Arsenal have 2 more pre-season games before next Sunday's Community Shield. It's Beveren tomorrow and Barnet on Tuesday. They begin the defence of their league title 2 weeks tomorrow at home to Birmingham City. Foul there by Siga.
Yes, a little bit of impatience there. Hassler there, facing the wrong way. I know he's a great player, but he was facing the wrong way. It's just a case of being patient there and keeping him facing the touchline.
Arsenal fans have a chance to see their new goalie, Carini, sorting out his defence here. It's going to be Hassler to drive it in. Oh, good save by Carini. Number 2 to Gianluigi Buffon at Juventus, who, given their financial problems, were happy to loan Carini out to Arsenal for a season. That's a good save.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the disguise from Hassler there. He's trying to make out he's gone for the cross. It's amazing. We were talking about it before the game with David Seaman there, of course.
Hassler. One headed clear by Campbell to Canu. Gilberto Silva driving forward, and the ball to Henry was woefully inadequate.
Luzny is not a very happy man at all, because there's the chance there with Hassler. As I say, I think he's used a little bit of disguise late on, but I think Canu made a wrong decision on that through ball there, because he had 2 Arsenal players bombing up the right wing.
Czerny. Cole gave it away to Devil Shuka, and was a foul by Siga on Max.
I think you're right. It does look like Frank Leboeuf at the minute. Just keep giving 2 fouls away.
Glad you said that, not me. So another free kick by Hassler, and no doubt Carini's waiting for another ball to be delivered underneath his crossbar. I suspect this one will be bent in towards Ehlers. It's over Ehlers' head. Carini comes and makes a comfortable catch.
Nice and positive goalkeeping there. Alert there to see somebody on. But Canu's had a bad touch for a change.
I think we could well see a spate of substitutions for the Germans coming up. Tell you more about that in a moment.
I must say, when Henry gets the ball wide left, he is very exciting to watch when he pushes it well past in the space behind players. I think your substitutions are coming up now, Gary.
Yeah, here they come.
Good luck.
It's Marcus Weissenberger who's coming on. Michael Weisinger will join him, and Paul Agostino, who Birmingham City fans will remember, and Hassler, Shuka, and one other. There's Hassler coming through the camera. It's number 12 who's come off for 1860 Munich. Danny Schwartz is the third player substituted. Weissenberger, the Austrian international, certainly a favourite around these parts. He'll play in Hessler's role, another small diminutive footballer whose distribution is excellent. That's Weisinger who'll play on the right-hand side. So we've got a Weissenberger and a Weisinger both on for the 1860 team. Here's Bergkamp, Luzhny. Bergkamp invited to chase this one down to the dead ball line. Luzhny with a cross. Terrific defensive header there. I think it was Czerny who delivered the ball out of his box from virtually underneath his own crossbar. Agostino trying to make life difficult for Seguin. Agostino, the Australian, trying to break into the national Aussie team. Managed to do so in those crucial World Cup qualifiers against Uruguay, and I suspect he came face to face with Arsenal's keeper tonight, Carini, in those matches. Canu, Gilberto Silva. Well, not afraid to shoot either, is he?
I think Arsenal have got such good quality in all their team. They're tremendous passers. Here you see them shoot from outside the box there, and you just feel as though they've definitely got another gear in them if they want to use it. But great quality in keeping the ball. You look at Vieira, he hardly ever gives the ball away, and he uses his body so well.
Seguin. Seguin actually was told to toughen up by Arsene Wenger after he initially joined the club. He thought that Seguin would have to perhaps do some work to make sure he was ready for the bumps and bruises of the English Premiership. He's a big lad, 6'3" tall, and has to compete with the likes of Upson, Stepanovs and Keown for that central defensive role alongside Campbell. Weissenberger with a free kick. Edu. Canu. It's a better ball to Henry, who is lightning quick in these positions. He's away from Czerny. The goalkeeper's come here, made a good save. Jensch, a formidable barrier between ball and goal, and he did his job pretty well there. Weisinger will leave it.
Well, the goalie's done well. Again, he's spread himself at the right time. His timing of coming off his line was good. But that's where Henry is so exciting for me. When he gets into them positions, you cannot catch him. And I think he just made his angle too difficult at that time.
Agostino, there is an offside flag against the Aussie. Although he rather delicately tried to chip the ball past Carini. Another player yet to have his name on the back of his jersey. No, then that will come when they get back to the UK.
Yeah. Well, again, I think looks a poor decision, that one, in the end. I think that Sol Campbell's just slightly kept him on there. To me, it looked quite a good finish in the end. He's hit the bar there.
FIFA are considering changing the offside rule, inserting the words clear daylight to indicate when a player will be in an offside position, so any slight offside would go in the attacker's favour.
Yeah. Well, it might make it easier for the assistant referees. As I say, at times it's very difficult because you look at somebody and they're offside, and then you see the replay and then they're not. So it is difficult. Wouldn't want that job.
Czerny. Czerny's cross. It's a very good one indeed. That's a fantastic goal. 1860 Munich are level and Carini's beaten.
Well, you'd feel a little bit for Carini there. It's a tremendous goal. I've got to say that the cross was as good as what you see.
And it's the Aussie Paul Agostino, who heads 1860 level shortly after coming on as a substitute, converting Cherney's cross.
Yeah, this is a wonderful cross, I've got to say. So the outswinger there, he's hit it with pace, so for me, Carini can't come off his line and get it. You know, he's gone with whip. He's gone like, I'm going to test you here. Could have been a little bit of a deflection off Ashley Cole there, to be honest. But it looked a hell of a ball and a hell of a goal. And for me, the goalkeeper couldn't come for that one.
That really is Agostino's stock in trade, and Martin Max the first to congratulate him. And Arsenal, who took the lead, now being penned back at 1-1, and maybe that's a better overall picture of the game.
Yes, I think it is, but I still say Arsenal's got another gear, and for me, that's when they might well step it up now.
Agostino. The two tired-looking Arsenal boys out there now. Henry just strolling back towards the halfway line. And a couple more substitutions about to be made here by 1860. Martin Stranzel is coming on for them. And also a striker, Benjamin Louth, number 11. Martin Max, one of the players brought off. Have we got the right man here?
I think let's just change the captain, so the captain must have come off there. Kurtz has just come off, yeah?
Yeah, Marco Kurtz is the other player who's substituted.
But it's going to make it probably much more of an interesting game now, because I'm sure Arsenal are going to go for the win.
Martin Max has really made life difficult for the Arsenal defence. We have reached the three-quarter point of this game now. Time perhaps when footballers who aren't 100% fit are going to feel a little bit leg weary. Weissenberger, and he was caught very late there by Vieira, shown a yellow card. It was a clumsy challenge by Vieira.
Yes, I think they were disappointed with the challenge about a minute before that. I think it was on Edu. I think they were a bit disappointed with that. They're just trying to point that out to the referee. So it was one of those that, for me, the ball's slightly there to win. So that's why Vieira's gone for it, and the players then just got a toe in just before that. So it's a bit difficult.
Arsenal will make a couple more substitutions very shortly. First, this 1860 free kick.
Yes, another test for the goalie here.
Referee asking Henry just to move further away.
Well, I would say it's about 12 yards, that one.
And he's booking him. Surely that is 10 yards.
That's a poor decision. I don't think the referee can do that, because unless he's showing where the 10 yards is, all he's saying is go back. So to me, he's got to walk there with him and show him where he wants 10 yards. And by the way, it is a friendly.
Crazy. One well wide of goal, and Carini watched it sail wide.
I think the Arsenal boys have just upset the referee there.
Arsene Wenger's out of his dugout. I think he's none too impressed with that yellow card. Touré and Upson, the latest players to be thrown on here by Arsenal. Ashley Cole will be one of the players substituted, Edu the other. Henry just asking the referee what that yellow card was for.
Well, that's where the referees have got to realise. As I say, you know, Arsenal have come here just for a decent friendly for the fitness. I'm sure it won't count for the yellow cards, but we don't want anything silly happening.
Number 28, Kolo Touré, is possibly not particularly well known to Arsenal supporters. He's the Ivory Coast international who came to the club in February. He made a spectacular goal line clearance against Roma on Thursday. He's playing on this left-hand side. Upson has to play at left back. That's hardly a regular role for him. Here's Bergkamp. Bergkamp fouled by Stranzel, one of the 1860 substitutes. Well, nearly everybody on the pitch now is a substitute, including Luzhny, who crosses the ball and wins a corner. Canu. Heading clear that time by Martin Stranzel, another Austrian playing in the 1860 team. Feeling very at home here in Innsbruck. Agostino, who scored 1860's goal. Stranzel again. Terrific ball to Marcus Weissenberger. And 1860 Munich offside.
Yes, I think Arsenal have got to get their fullbacks forward a little bit more now and start asking a few more questions. I think that they are taking a little bit too long to get forward, and they're probably defending too much now.
Ashley Cole taking a breather as Vieira comes forward here. Bergkamp and into the challenge of Ehlers. Agostino. Weissenberger tackled by Seguin. Stranzel didn't have a hope of getting that ball. It's fielded by Fabian Carini, the Uruguayan. I'm pleased that Arsenal have put their 3 new signings on show tonight, so any Gunners fans who yet to see the team have a chance to see what their new boys look like before their trip to Cardiff next week.
Well, I'm sure the management there are looking for to involve them straight away.
Look at Toure go here. Canu. Toure! Oh, that's lovely combination between Canu and Toure.
Lovely positive play from Toure there. And for me, that's how you're going to get goals against 1860, because they really are square, they really do push in. And you've got to do quick 1-2s and or get at them.
Toure showing what he can do. Canu just taken away from goal there, but a clever little back heel.
Yeah, lovely little flick there, and unfortunately he's gone low.
Oh, and Arsenal almost score from the resulting corner. And it's Toure again, trying to make his mark on this game. We have to give full marks to the Arsenal scouting system. They find these players from all over the globe. This is Marcus Weissenberger. Agostino waits for the cross, so too does Laut.
Yes, it seems to be fresh legs that are hurting the opposition at the minute, and which I'm sure is understandable.
Arsenal will make another change very shortly. It'll be Jérémy Alliaderi, the Frenchman, who'll come on. Number 30. Bergkamp. Vieira. Upson. And here's Henry, taking over the new captain of 1860 Munich, Czerny, but Czerny had the better of him there. Laut. Poor ball back to Weissenberger, the Austrian, and it was easily intercepted by Seguin. A summer signing from Lille. Mainly slight disappointment, Peter, is that Arsenal didn't stick with their first choice 11 for perhaps a little bit longer and given them an hour rather than just 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, again, you never know. They could have a slight little knock, they could have a little scare there that you don't want to take the chance.
That's Weissenberger who's gone down in a heap. Didn't seem to be that bad a tackle, but Weissenberger certainly was in pain.
I think they're indicating that Dennis has done something with his arms there, and so hopefully that's not the case. But I think there been a few little challenges late on where players have started losing their temper a touch.
And whilst there is this injury, Arsenal will take advantage of it to make a change, with Alliaderi coming on.
Yeah, see. Yeah, and he's followed through. It's the second one. I don't think it's a punch as such. He's using his hands, but it's not a punch. But I don't think he is as bad with being knocked out. Let's put it that way.
Just out of your picture, Gilberto Silva has come on.
Second time, yeah.
was.
Yeah, it was. He definitely had contact there, but for me, I'm not so sure you should be lying down there as if Frank Bruno's just got hold of you.
So confirmation of that last switch. Eliaderi is on for Arsenal. Gilberto Silva, the Brazilian summer signing, is off.
Yeah, good summer signing as well, and looks a very tidy footballer. Of course, he's a World Cup winner, so you've got to be a very clever player, ability-wise and intelligence to play for Brazil.
Weissenberger's all right.
So there's a lot more made of that, but players really do use their arms when they are controlling the ball and moving and running. So things like that do happen, and I think a bit too much is made of it at times.
Weissenberger seems to be okay now, but 1860 offside again. Agostino not too impressed with the referee's assistant. I wonder if that chap there has had an argument with the referee's assistant in the last few days. Bandage on his nose.
He don't mess about. I don't know if that's the same assistant referee as the first half, but for him to give that offside and the Arsenal goal not, I can't work that one out.
The words salt and wound spring to mind. Seguin, Bergkamp, Vieira, forward to Kolo Touré.
I know I've said it before, Gary, but they certainly play high up the field at 1860, and I can promise you that in 3 weeks' time in the Premiership, if a team does that against Arsenal, they will pick them off.
The Austrian coach of 1860 Munich, study of concentration. I think he'll be pretty happy if 1860 end level here with the English double winners.
I think they've done well. They've done very well. They're the best of the end of the first half, and they've shown a good attitude here, and they've scored a brilliant goal.
And good to see Sol Campbell still there with the end of the game now in sight.
Well, I think Sol, I know that he's had, of course, a hard summer as well, but the more games, I think Sol got even better in the season when he was playing a lot more consistent games.
Vieira also looking strong there. Sol Campbell playing his first game back since the World Cup. People raved about Rio Ferdinand, but Sol Campbell didn't do badly, did he?
No, he done very well. I think that going back to the Brazil game, you probably would have liked him to use the ball and come out with it a bit more against 10 men. But defensively, I thought he was really sound.
Well, aimed in towards Agostino, but taken by Fabian Carini. Canu.
There's the space.
I think your words about Ray Parlour having picked up a knock are coming true, Peter, because he doesn't look like he's going to take any part in the game.
Yeah, it may be one that is just something that's not 100% right, and it's not worth taking a risk, because you don't want to pick up any injuries in pre-season. You want your best squad available for the start of the important matches.
Hardly a surprise that Arsenal are not losing away from home. Remember, they were unbeaten away from home in the league last season. They could go behind here, and Agostino has wasted a terrific opportunity.
Well, no matter what level and no matter what team you are, you do not give the ball away in the middle third, and Arsenal give it away cheaply there with Vieira just playing the ball to Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis giving the ball back straight to 1860, and then all of a sudden there's trouble. And normally that's a goal against you at this level, but the goalkeeper again's done well and made himself very big very quickly.
I thought there was going to be another goal here for Agostino, but looking at the slow motion replay, missed by quite some distance.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper's done well there. He looks very very quick off his line.
Campbell. Bergkamp. Bergkamp got a bit of a knock there. I think one or two of the 1860 players looking out for Dennis Bergkamp, and maybe the time of game to bring Dennis Bergkamp off. They don't want to get him involved in any unseemly moments.
Well, you mentioned as well about him not playing much this pre-season, and so he will be feeling it. But then saying that, I suppose Arsenal will be looking at if he could get 90 minutes, it would do him good.
Wenger and Pat Rice, the management team of Arsenal, hoping for another successful season. They don't get more successful than last season, do they?
Well, incredible, as I say, especially the way they finished. 21 games, 18 wins and 3 draws. It's staggering, really. There's that space again.
Now, could Arsenal find a second goal? Yes, they can, and it's Henry who's in the right place at the right time. He's had 2 simple tap-ins. The hard work was done by Jeremy Alidieri, but you know who was their leading goal scorer in the Premiership last season. Knows how to tuck them in from long or short range.
Well, I think you and me would have stuck that one in if we got that chance, but again, it's the space behind the back four where, for me, 1860 have not really worked out when to drop when there's danger. They keep pushing in and giving big spaces for Arsenal players to get behind them. But fair play to Henry, you've got to be in there to score it.
Well, no doubt this time about the validity of the goal. Henry has terrorised defences across Europe since he joined Arsenal, and he looks like he's trying to shrug aside a disappointing World Cup and pick up his club form very quickly indeed.
Well, at times he's done the opposite tonight, where he hasn't done a great deal, but he's just stuck it in the net, where you see him on lots of occasions do fantastic things and he doesn't score. So I'm sure the manager would prefer him just to get on the score sheet.
Corner kick then to 1860 Munich, who find themselves 2-1 behind now, with 7 minutes remaining of this friendly.
Kanu made a forward run there, and to be fair to Henry, he saw him, but it was on his left side. It was a very difficult ball to get to. Some of the set pieces have been poor tonight, I've got to say. Some of the free kicks and some of the corners have been under hit. There's always the first defender there that's been clearing them. But again, it's 2 weeks away.
Well, you say 2 weeks away, but the renamed Community Shield match is only next weekend, and it's a debatable point whether it's a friendly or not, but the way some of those matches have gone down the years, they've hardly been friendly games, have they?
Well, I think if you read the paper and you see that Arsenal are only going to get bonuses if they get second or third in the Champions League, I think that they'll be really working on that one to make sure they get to that first. And of course they will take the game next Sunday very seriously, but 3 points would be even more serious for them.
I remember a year ago watching Arsenal in a pre-season game in Austria and wondering whether they had a good enough squad for the coming season. I'll ask you the same question, Peter. Is this squad big enough and good enough to defend their 2 cups and go a bit further in the Champions League?
Well, I think with the loss of Tony Adams, that's going to be very, very difficult for Arsenal to replace him for his presence alone. So if Sagan does well for them defensively with Martin Keown and Sol Campbell there, if he's a good replacement for one of those, if they get injured, then they've got a good chance. I think they've got a very good squad. Going forward, they're as good as anything in the Premier League, as good as anything in England, of course. So for me, it didn't have to be improved that much, and I think Silva, for me, looks a very, very good player and a great signing.
And of course they have Freddie Ljungberg and Robert Pires.
Well, Pires especially.
To come back in.
Yeah, well, especially the way he was finishing off before he unfortunately got injured. He was looking world class and deserved to get Player of the Season.
This is Kanu. Upson. And Adiri waiting round about the edge of the penalty area. Henry on his hat-trick now. He's down to walking pace, Thierry Henry. There's sight of him being substituted.
Well, it'd be difficult now for somebody just to come on for a few minutes anyway now.
Campbell was very strong in the tackle. His performance has been one of the highlights of the night. Here's Bergkamp, though, for Arsenal. He's dragged the ball back towards Henry. He's got his hat-trick.
Well, Bergkamp again showed great strength. I think he's tired now, Dennis Bergkamp. He's made another good run there in about the 88th minute, whatever it is.
And the victory for Arsenal will be assured. Carved out by Dennis Bergkamp, scored by Thierry Henry. And it's now Arsenal 3, 1860 Munich 1.
See, again, you see the high line there. They've got something like 40, 50 yards behind them, the back four there. So they are taking chances against world-class players. Great ball from Dennis Bergkamp, but as you see there, Henry's still got a bit to do. He's still, you know, there's millions of those shots there that go miles over the bar and in the stands, but he's kept it down, which is the most important thing. Great technique. Goalkeeper done well to nearly get it.
I just wonder whether Thierry Henry has a new appetite for the game after his disappointment at the World Cup. He was sent off against Uruguay when things were going spectacularly badly for the French. And maybe he's just delighted to be back with the players he knows best, in a situation where he has achieved so much.
Well, anybody that plays at this level, anybody plays for Arsenal and win things like they do, they've got to have tremendous attitudes. And he will be no different to that. He'll be disappointed what happened to him in the summer, and he will want to come back and he'll want to come and score loads of goals, be Player of the Year and so on. And he'll want Arsenal to go and win the treble. That's how that's the targets these players will be setting themselves, which is fantastic for them.
He looked such a forlorn figure when he was sent off. Yeah, France playing against Uruguay.
Yeah, I think the goal scoring is something that I would say that for Arsenal to have the season that they had last year, they've got to have a regular goal scorer. And I think Henry, when he puts his mind to it, can be a goal scorer, a real goal scorer, not just runs down the left wing.
Henry, who's already scored 3 tonight. Upson. Campbell. Oh, he just lost the run of the ball here. It's broken to Weissenberger. Stranzel. And he's unable to bring Carini into the game.
Yes, there was a couple of situations there where, for me, Sagan dropped off, give the team a bit of depth, and then Sol Campbell done the same. And that, for me, is totally the opposite to what 1860 do.
Croatian flag in the Austrian crowd.
I think Suk had done some really good things tonight, to be honest. I thought he worked very hard to play well against Arsenal.
Vieira, Campbell, and a comprehensive win for Arsenal. They needed a very dodgy goal to get them underway, and when 1860 Munich equalised through Agostino, it looked